Once upon a time, there lived a young boy named Mike Rose. Rose grew up in Altoona, Pennsylvania with his parents, who immigrated to the U.S. from Italy. When he was a young boy, he and his family made the far move to Los Angeles, California, where he began schooling and mingling with adults due to lack of children his age in the area. After settling in a poor immigrant neighborhood in LA, Rose experienced a multitude of violence in the area. The immigrants dreamed of a better life, but no one put forth any passion to achieve that dream. Since Rose came from a Catholic background, he was sent to St. Regina's School, where he daydreamed in class and experienced problems with math and grammar. One Christmas, however, Mike received a chemistry set as a present that led him to take an interest in science. Once he reached high school, his parents decided to send him to get the best education they could afford at Our Lady of Mercy High School. Unfortunately, his records were unintentionally swapped with another student's, and he was put into vocational classes that were far below his academic level. Once he was placed in a college prep program in his junior year of high school, Rose met a teacher who inspired him academically for the rest of his life. Jack McFarland was Rose's high school English teacher, who helped him build a greater interest in reading and writing, and Rose finally began receiving the grades that were required of him to be accepted to college. Rose is now on his way to Loyola University. Mike's first year at Loyola University proved to be a challenge both academically and socially. His grades were falling and he didn't know how to ask for help. News of his struggles reached McFarland, who called Rose's professors and requested that they give him special academic attention. Once Rose began receiving this special attention, he learned how to deal with difficult topics instead of daydreaming. As his grades began improving, he also became more involved in activities outside of required classes. Rose joined the English Society and began working closely with Dr. Frank Carruthers, the chair of the English department. Rose excelled in English, and his hard work under the guidance of Carruthers helped him win the Blenkerin Award for Excellence in English and editor of the campus magazine his senior year. By junior year, Rose was receiving all A's, which allowed him to apply for graduate school at UCLA. After the first year, however, Rose became discouraged academically and dropped out of graduate school. This led him to begin on a new path with a new mentor who would help shape his new passion, teaching. Rosalie Nauman was the professor who helped him work towards earning his teaching credentials at USC. Nauman assigns Rose to work with 15 of the worst readers in the public schools in the area. Mike uses creativity in the classroom and instructs the children to compile a book of all their writings. After reading the writings, Mike begins to understand how deeply the students are affected by their backgrounds. One student in particular, 5th grader Harold Morton, stood out to Rose, and he began forming a close relationship with him. Harold was classified in his files as a slow learner, even though he had high test scores, and was even considered to be put into classes with mentally challenged students. Rose took Harold under his wing and became the father figure that he needed. After working with the children, Mike completed his master's degree while working as a part-time tutor. After 2 months working as a tutor at the Veterans Program, Rose was offered a full-time position there. He accepted the offer immediately, but was nervous about having to create his own curriculum for the first time. He wanted to conduct his classroom in a different way. He wanted his students to learn how to think and learn instead of just throwing facts at them. Once his time was up teaching at the Veterans Program, he accepted a teaching position at UCLA. Here he would become the head of an entire unit where he would develop a program and a manual. At this time, he started to work with kids who were struggling in college but did exceptional in high school. This was when Rose began to feel as though too much emphasis was placed on test scores and not enough on student history and backgrounds. From here, he began to develop programs to help students by looking at different problems they faced while in school: immigration, socioeconomic status, poverty, and inequality.